Can you say hi? What'd you do? Do you think I had a treat out here? I don't have a treat. You big dummy. Yeah, I don't have a treat. Did you come out to get your toenails clipped? Do you want to have beauty shop and get your toenails clipped? Look, Dad's got the clippers. Do you want your toenails clipped? I can do it. You want to come to Dad and he'll clip your toenails? No? You want to get up in your spot? There you go. All right, you be good and Dad won't cut your toenails. He's already cut them today. That's why you're so nervous. So I'm going to do another video. I don't know how long it's going to be. It's going to be fairly short. I don't know. I try to keep them short because I don't want to listen to somebody for 20 minutes. Anyway, I decided after going to the craft store, I picked up these cute little teeny clothespins. They were only like $1 or $2 for a big old sack of them. And I was into West Yellowstone and they had these great big clothespins. And I thought that was so cute. I came home and made one, and this is my prototype. And it took me forever, and I forgot that it took me forever. And then my neighbor, I have a brand new neighbor, and I made him a couple of knobs for his stove. And I should have charged him because now he thinks he needs to give me everything he doesn't want. So he gave me this. And not being one of them guys that is allowed to exercise because I have a replaced shoulder, I went ahead and decided to make me another clothespin out of it. So a 7/8 drill bit is about the size of it, and then I'm going to use a 1/2-inch drill bit for the front part, that little round part in front. So to determine what size of clothespin I'm going to make, I found this board, and so that's what size it's going to be. So I cut them down to where they're pretty close to the same thing, and then after I got through with that, I was going to show you me cutting it, and then I thought, no, I don't want a bunch of people telling me what I'm doing wrong. So I cut them down, got them cut like this, really nice, and I got me like an 1/8 board to stick in the middle of it, so that when I drill them out, it'll have that 1/8 gap in it, because that's what it looks like the clothespin had in it. So I took my 1/2-inch drill bit and my 7/8 drill bit, and I drilled this part here out 1/2 inch, this here 7/8. And I left this groove until last, because after I bent the spring, it's got to fit in there, and I want to make sure the spring's bent, and then I'll make the gap. I made this gap after I made the spring. So that turned out really cute. I really like that. It's 7 inches long, and then I just eyeballed back and eyeballed back to see how far to cut these. I'd have to measure them and give you the exact measurements, but you just look at it, it's just a clothespin, it's nothing special. So I took one of them springs and they're tapered on the end, so that really made a mess. So I thought about it. I just took my fancy little grinder and cut the end of it off. And then after I got through cutting the end off, then I'm glad I wasn't videotaping it, because I straightened this end out here 2 turns. And how I determined how long I needed it was I wrapped the tape around the spring to see how long one wrap was, and 2 wraps would give me enough straight to make the spring for the clothespin. And so after all day, I started this a Diet Coke and a half ago, and I ended up with this spring that I made, and I'm thinking that's why I decided I wasn't going to make any more, because that just looks easy. It's not. But you have to take this loop right here, make it a little bit bigger so that it'll keep the spring in place. And then you have to straighten out that whole stupid spring and then bend it. And then after I bent it, that's when I decided where the groove in the clothespin went. So after I did that, and got both of them cut, I went ahead and put them together. Now, the thing you got to remember is when the clothespin spring's shut, you want it to be squeezing tight. I had this spring in backwards and it didn't work. So you put the, you can't cuss. You put that in there, slide it in, and it looks like a clothespin. So that's a 7-inch long clothespin, and then I just used the width of the board to determine how much spring I needed, unwrapped the spring 2 full turns, and then made a loop right here that's a little bit bigger. I used vice grips and channel locks and hammers and screwdrivers. I used a lot of different tools trying to get that right. And it took me probably 2 hours to make a stupid spring. But I wanted to make it a little bit bigger right here so it would hold everything loose or in place so the spring wouldn't slide or anything. It turned out pretty good. I think it will look good. I don't know. Maybe I'll drill a hole in it and put it on the wall, and then I can put my grocery list in it, so when I go to the store I can have me a little list of what I'm doing. But I had fun making this, and I'm glad I got me a chip for the GoPro, so now I can, if I can think of something to make, I'll make a couple other things. One thing I did make a few years back I wanted to show you was this little comfort bird. Now, I've made probably 80 to 100 of these comfort birds, and if you like to wood carve and you have some good poplar or basswood, you okay over there? If you got some basswood or poplar, that's what this is carved out as, poplar from my old hometown up in Huntsville. A friend of mine gave it to me. And so when he passed away, I carved about 40 or 50 of these and took them to the funeral and gave them to his grandkids and children. And you just hold them, and they, for some reason, they give you comfort. I guess it's the wood and the fact that it's a bird. And I have a few stories about these comfort birds. They're pretty special, but I enjoyed carving these. So if you like what you see, like and subscribe, and try to get some more people to like and subscribe to me. I like to share with people what I make and try to explain to them how I make it. Other than that spring, I'm not going to try to explain that because there was some cussing involved in that spring. But remember to like Jerry's, my producer. He does Geek and Son, and he has a 69 Charger he's rebuilding from a pile of dust, and he's replaced everything but the roof and patched the floor in it. And he's got the quarter panels on it and primered, and it's starting to look like a car. So if you have any questions on this clothespin, go ahead and ask me, and I'll do some measurements and whatever and tell you how I did it. But it was pretty easy to just make a cute little clothespin, and when it's done you're excited, and when you're making it you're going, I'm never making another one of these again. But I put a little 45 on the front and put the hole in here. It was a 1/2 inch, so when you take the gap and squeeze it like that, you get a little bit of a 3/8 gap there that's perfect. So you just somebody gives you exercise equipment, you just cut it up so you don't have to use it. Well, thank you. Hope everybody has a beautiful day, and I'll see if I can come up with something else to make. It's 360 miles to get my hair cut, so I'm not getting my hair cut for a few more weeks. So, thank you, and remember to like and subscribe, and we'll see you later.